Claudia Neumann is 47 years old and a veteran journalist for one of German television's most popular shows. Today she's in Berlin's Olympic Stadium to cover Hertha's match against Mainz. We tagged along.
In moments like these, you realize how privileged you are as someone who likes football. These people all have to pay money to watch the match. I get paid for it.
Neumann's task today is to create a match report that will be seen by millions of viewers. The first step is to discuss strategy with her camera team.
Now we're talking about where to position the cameras in each half. There are only two options, behind either one of the goals. That's all we're allowed. Hertha will definitely have more of the ball, but Mainz can go on the counter-attack. We'll take the left-hand goal and hope no one walks in front of the camera. A reporter has to be up on all the background, that's obvious. In the best case, the camera team also knows a little bit as well. Both teams are coming off losses, so we don't expect any fireworks, although it would be great to be surprised. This is a normal workstation. All I need is a TV monitor with a time code. That's important. I spread out my fact sheets. This is where I take notes. We're well equipped by our colleagues with articles from the press and statistics. Up here I have an excellent overview of the pitch and a monitor where I can look at replays of controversial scenes.
Neumann's cameramen take up position before the match. One of the journalist's predictions comes true. It's a dull game, with host Hertha in particular looking very uninspired. The score is 0-0 at half-time.
First, I go to the loo.
Then time for some refreshment. Neumann has worked as a journalist for 20 years. She's a woman in a man's world.
When I first started, there was an unbelievable number of young people who wanted to get into the profession. Most of them were men, of course, and you had to fight your way through and attract attention to yourself. But it was an advantage to be a woman. I stood out a bit from the crowd.
This summer, Neumann made German television history. She became the first woman to do live play-by-play commentary for a Women's World Cup match.
Leverkusen is pulling out all the stops for the Women's World Cup. The Swedes are upping the pace, and there it is. 1-0 on a goal by Jessica Landström in minute 57. Well deserved.
Will women ever get to do the play-by-play for men's matches?
Not without some resistance, I'd say. The craft of doing play-by-play is the same whether it's for a men's or a women's match. Both have advantages and disadvantages. With men's matches, I have to make quicker decisions because the game is faster. The disadvantage with a women's match is that 10 or 15 minutes can go by where nothing happens and the ball is passed around midfield. It's not easy. It's tough to comment on a match like that. And of course, there would definitely be men who wouldn't accept it, who stop paying attention as soon as they hear a woman's voice in the context of football.
Neumann could be forgiven for not paying attention to the second half of the Hertha-Mainz match. It remains a dismal affair. Mainz pressed for a goal, but without success. But Neumann and her team maintained their concentration, perhaps spurred on by Berlin's ultras. At the end of the match, she heads to the mixed zone, where she's reunited with her camera team. The hunt for interviews is on. The main thing is to get an interview with someone.
You can have bad luck and be talking to someone when someone else you want to talk to walks by. He may not want to talk. If so, he simply won't come back out of the dressing room.
Today she gets the clips she wants.
It can't just be down to pressure from Mainz. You may be right to praise them, but you have to push the match much more against such an opponent.
Yeah, sure. I wasn't saying Mainz were world class, just that they're a good team and we played badly.
Do you need a goal-getter with a killer instinct?
At the moment, yes, but it's our job to create such a player.
Thanks. We'll be in touch. I haven't talked with my editor yet, but today I'll be filing a short report because the game doesn't deserve any more. But sometimes it's more difficult to do a short summary than a long one. What makes me unhappy is when I make factual mistakes. Then I'm very unhappy.
Neumann and her team have 3 hours to cut the pictures, write the script and then voice the report. It will then be beamed by satellite to the station headquarters in the city of Mainz.
What I find exciting is to come up with ideas, follow my curiosity, and do journalistic brainstorming. To stretch the boundaries when people have different takes on ideas, that's great. That's what makes a good journalist. Spectators in Berlin had to be artificially whipped up to cheer. It was a low-class match in which Hertha showed their worst side. They lacked ideas and often seemed at a loss. 0-0 and an away point has to feel like a letdown for the visitors. The highlight today, the weather was nice. And I was glad to see Thilo, the cameraman, again. I hadn't seen him for a while. On the whole, everything went smoothly.
The working day is done in Berlin, but next week Claudia Neumann will be off to one of the other Bundesliga cities, where she'll hopefully get to see some goals like these, coming up right now.